This is exercise 6.4, creating an intersection. In this exercise, we will create an intersection with a civil cell and then modify the intersection to add a turn lane. So let's go ahead and open up the RDWYII intersection corridor DGN file located within the DGN Chapter 6 subfolder. Once this file loads, make sure that the multimodal view is active in the lower left corner. Also notice that there is a side road corridor between stations 125 plus 00 and 126 plus 00, which has super elevation attached to it. You may turn on the RDWYII intersection super elevation DGN reference file to view the super elevation. So first we will place a T intersection civil cell along the side road. Open the Place Civil Cell tool, which is under Open Roads Modeling, Model Detailing, and Civil Cells, and select the T.T-INT CNG GS plus SW civil cell under the intersections _ T.DGN lib and click OK. So once you're ready to place the civil cell, go ahead and select the following lines. The first line is the main line EOP. The second line is the main line PSHCG, which is this yellow line. And the last line is the side road center line. Make sure that the placement looks correct by clicking on the control lines. In this exercise, there should be no need to reverse the direction of the reference lines. Right-click to accept the line directions. Next, select the side road corridor to clip, and then right-click to accept. Lastly, left-click to accept the placement of the civil cell. So since a reference corridor cannot be clipped, we need to open up the RDWYII corridor DGN file to clip the mainline corridor with the intersection civil cell. So let's go ahead and open up the RDWYII corridor DGN file. So once that file loads, let's make sure that the RDWYII intersection corridor DGN file has been referenced. Let's go ahead and open up the Add Clipping Reference tool, which is under Open Roads Modeling, Corridors, Miscellaneous, and then Corridor Clipping. Select the mainline corridor and then select the civil cell corridor graphics, which will turn purple, and then right-click to accept. Now let's open up the RDWYII intersection corridor DGN file back up. So now we need to add a turning lane to the civil cell and the side road corridor. So within the Explorer, open the civil cell that was just placed under the Open Roads Modeling tab. And select the complex element SR-EOP Control L. The element will then highlight in the 2D view only when the 2D view is active. This element could also have been selected in the 2D view, but it would have been hard to find since it is a ghost element and would not be visible until you hovered over it. There will be 3 element control handles, beginning, middle, and end. To change the offset of the entire element, update the middle width control value from -12 to -24 feet. Updating the values at the end or beginning of this line does not control the whole element. It is instead treated as a transition. Also, you may have to reclip the side road corridor using the clipping corridor tool that was used to clip the main line. Now we will use the point control to add a turn lane to the side road corridor. Let's select the Prop EOP Control feature definition, which is under Linear, Roadway, Model Control -2D Plan, and then EOP, and set the feature to active. Open the Single Offset Partial tool, which is under Open Rows Modeling, Geometry, Horizontal, Offsets and Taper, and offset a line 24 feet from the side road center line with a length of 50 feet starting where the civil cell ends, which is station 10 plus 93. Note that you must select the side road center line to offset and not the side road EOP. Otherwise, this would be a recursive constraint because the EOP element is being placed by the corridor we are trying to control. To complete the horizontal geometry, open the Variable Offset Taper tool, snap to the end of the last offset, and then add 50-foot taper from that point to the intersection corridor EOP. Again, the offset reference must be the side road center line and not an element placed in the template. Let's go ahead and complex the horizontal geometry that we just created. Next, open the Create Point Control tool under Open Rows Modeling, Corridor, Edit, and then Edits. And select the side road corridor. Within the Create Point Control dialog, we'll have to set the lock to start and end. We'll have to select the point as EOP LCG. Select the mode as horizontal, the control type to linear geometry, and the plan element as EOP-Control2. And leave all the other as default, and then left click through the prompts to accept. The EOP should now follow the control line. To clean up the intersection, we will now move the side road template drop to station 10 plus 93, which is where the civil cell ends. Notice that the civil cell automatically lines up with the mainline PSH-CG, but it did not line up with the side road shoulder. To fix this, first locate the SR-PSH control line. The easiest way to find this line is to locate the area in the curb return where the line is hidden, but not underneath any other elements. Move the cursor to this area so that the line appears, and then select the line. So this line again is SR-PSH-CG control. Once this line is selected, click the middle offset and change it from -2 to 0 feet. And then repeat these steps for the right side of the civil cell as well. Now we need to modify the grass strip on the intersection civil cell so that it will taper down to match the side road corridor. Open the Create Parametric Constraint tool, which is under Open Rows Modeling, Corridors, Edit, and then Edits. Select the left intersection civil cell linear template, not the shoulder template. Note that it might be easier to select the template drop that is as far left on the EOP around the civil cell for this selection. Within the Create Parametric Constraint dialog box, let's set the start to 0 plus 80, turn on the lock to N, select the constraint label as grass strip L width, and have the start value as -4 and the stop value as 0. Then left click to accept the prompts. And notice how the grass strip in the 3D view tapers down to 0. Let's go ahead and repeat the last step for the right grass strip by selecting the right intersection civil cell linear template. The start station will be 0 plus 92 for this one. Since the side road corridor is super elevated, the civil cell cross slope does not automatically match the cross slope of the side road. Select the SR EOP Control L line and then within the properties change the end slope from a -2% to a positive 1.72%. The civil cell and the side road cross slope should now align. It might be easiest to select this line within the Explorer under the Open Roads Modeling tab. Now our civil cell should be looking pretty close to being completed. If the main line is not clipped correctly, then we can go back into the CC corridor DGN file and then reclip the corridor with the civil cell. So once you reclip your main line, the civil cell is now complete. And this concludes exercise 6.4, creating an intersection.